Thank you for tuning in. This is the community call for May. It's a bit late into June. We're into the second week of June, which should be fine. We'll still give a June update first week of July. So to kick things off, Scooter, do you want to go ahead and give BD updates, and then I can just roll into Matt's updates and the dev team's updates?
Sure. So, hey everybody, been a while. So let me get you guys kind of up to speed on what we've been up to on the deal flow side. So, as some of you know, we did have an LTIP sort of joint proposal with OpenEden that passed governance with Arbitrum. So we have uh, just yesterday received our first like disbursement from Arbitrum. So we're just waiting on getting some KYB stuff sort of finalized with OpenEden. And the first deals, which are already lined up and ready to go, will be able to come online. So that's going to be should be beginning next week. We should be start to see the first deals go through. Um, so that's on the kind of T-bill RWA side of things. We do have, as some of you know, a newer uh, kind of entry into the lineup of Revest products. So we've got Redux coming out here soon. That's going to open beta, and we'll start letting some of our, kind of more involved community members, uh, our Golden Eyes, for instance, should begin to get access to that in the next couple weeks. Um, and I think we've talked quite a bit about Redux, so I think everybody's probably familiar with that. If not, like, go ahead and drop some questions. But basic gist is this is an AI trading system that we've built alongside uh, a hedge fund partner of ours, and yeah, so it's gotten quite good. It's been in testing for I'd say 4 to 5 months now, and it is getting pretty good at its job. So we think it's ready for beta, and we're going to open that up soon. So that's kind of the Redux side, and we got some other things cooking, but maybe I'll hold off on those. But the last big one to talk about would probably be something that we're going to be announcing very soon. That's going to be a you know partnership with the guys at Frax, who we've worked with in the past. Um, a lot of interesting lore going back with that relationship, as some people might know. Um, but yeah, we're going to be working with those guys again, and it will involve, I'll say this much, it will involve FNFTs, the FXTL points that are a part, and it'll involve VEFXS positions. So that's probably about all I should say for now. Um, but we should see that. I'd say more like the next 3 to 4 weeks. That should go online, and that is something that will be on Frax's front end. So that's going to be really great distribution for us. So we actually have the Frax team sort of building on us. So that's really good to see. But yeah, I think that's about it from the BD side.
Thanks, Taylor. Yeah, no, that is super exciting. I can't wait for some of these things to start rolling out. So I'll go ahead and just hop over to Matt's updates. Matt is our project manager. So these are his May updates. Redux, as Scooter just touched on, still in alpha, but we should have beta in the coming weeks. And then for the rebrand, I know a lot of people are asking about the rebrand. Last month we shared that there was a delay due to the design. The new design firm has started and is progressing, and the end of the month is the target to having that completed with a rollout. And then with that, that coincides with some of our marketing plans for the rollout. So I'll just go ahead and say it. You're going to be farming some points, potentially, allegedly, um, and a few other things. So just stay tuned for that. I know it's been a minute, but we definitely appreciate the community sticking by us. And then I'm gonna hop over to Nicola's dev updates. So development in the month of May was focused on several different aspects. They've added the Open Eden integration to Resonate, bringing U.S. Treasury yields to our upfront yield offering on Arbitrum. And then, as Scooter just touched on, in cooperation with Frax, we utilize the Revest system to make the Frax staking token VEFXS transferable via FNFTs, solving the problem it being natively non-transferable. And then his final update is they finalized the Redux smart contracts audit and Redux UI and setting the stage for launching the Redux beta. Redux will be an option under Resonate. So those are the dev updates, and then the marketing updates. We're working on rolling out something for Redux when that launches. So I believe that is all the updates. We can roll into community questions if anyone has any questions. I know we just hit you with a lot of information. So I'll give it like another minute or two to see if anyone has anything. Also, if you'd like to request, you're more than welcome to come up on stage. This can be a conversation and not just like an info drop.
Waiting for people to get their questions in.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna go check
I
the
actually have a
questions.
question for the community. So, for those that are familiar with how how Resonate operates, would you guys use it if we built it a system where similar to Pendle, you could use our system to essentially speculate on some of these points programs. Like let's take the LRT stuff or like Athena, for instance. Um, for those that are have some exposure to those points, um, would you be willing to sell them a la Pendle for a really high upfront payout, or would you want to purchase essentially points at a discount? Because our system is very good at that, so we could do something very very similar to Pendle. I'm wondering if people here in the audience would want to use something like that.
Yeah, guys, drop a comment either in the chat here, the community call chat, or you could even drop it in Gen chat.
Anybody? Anybody? Any input?
I know Al's listening. I'm curious on Al's thoughts. I've literally been talking into my muted mic. Yep, there's Al. My mic was muted. I was like, I bet Al has some thoughts, and then Al starts typing. I don't mess with the LRT, so I have no opinion really. Okay. Does
It's
anybody else have
understood.
any thoughts on that? Sort of just gauging interest. Oh, I see three people typing. Not familiar. Jay says he's not familiar.
Okay, cool.
Um, Al says points are everywhere, not just LRTs. That's true,
Yeah,
Al.
not
There's
just
a lot of points everywhere.
well. The cool thing about points programs is, they're not really dependent upon composability. So, you just talk to the other team and they've got some database and you make sure that your people are included in their database. So we can really work with any points programs.
I
But
s
the economics of it is really cool because unlike Pendle, our sort of lenders, which would be equivalent to like the yield token purchasers in Pendle system, they um, can essentially get like leveraged exposure to the points that they're like purchasing the rights to, and the other side can get like a really high, upfront payout, but they would actually get that fixed yield immediately. Unlike on Pendle, where you got to wait till till maturity, right? So the cool thing about our system is you could get that really high fixed payment by like selling the rights to your points or whatever, but then you could turn around and do something with that upfront payout immediately and really like boost your yield, right? So it's kind of like a way for us to kind of one up Pendle, basically.
Zero says LRT narrative is a bit subdued now, but it's good to use this for the future user capture. Seems a bit perfect. Seems it's a perfect use case for Revest.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Totally agree.
Al says, yeah, I mean, it's just generating a bid-ask spread. I just don't know how escrow works, etc., especially if most points are off-chain. And then he links pro.whales.market and says they have something like this. They're a market leader in this regard. The ultimate OTC DEX P2P trading for pre-listing allocations, tokens, points, NFT whitelist, vesting contracts in a trustless and secure manner. Huh, interesting, Al. Jay says a little competition with Pendle's always good.
Pendle, they're actually, I've noticed they're starting to build an RFQ. Now we have, Resonate basically is an RFQ. So it's already the bid ask spread, the order book kind of system is already there. Um, and liquidity on both sides of the books to kind of make things work properly. But yeah, as far as getting the points, um, kind of get integrated with these points programs, that's just a matter of getting in contact with their team and just making sure that our people get their points. It's all off chain stuff.
Al says, I would study competitors and see how you could improve on existing offerings like Whales.markets because I do hear they have fees above. Yeah,
Mm.
that's a good point, Al. And
Well,
then
I'll just say I've been playing around with the numbers, and we can do some really impressive stuff when you start redeploying that upfront payout you get. And that doesn't just apply to points, but it especially applies to points programs because the lenders, and this is true for Pendle system as well, the equivalent being their yield token purchasers, they are essentially overpaying for the kind of underlying yield that the position generates because they really don't care about the yield so much. They care about the points that they're also getting, right? So the fact that they're willing to overpay is why we see kind of a lot of these upfront or these fixed rates on Pendle really high. But we can kind of do one better where we can do those really high fixed payments, but you're as the borrower, as the one locking up your principal, you're getting that payment now, and you can go do something with that. And that usually means higher yields overall. So yeah, the math works out great. It really is a great application for Resonate.
Zero says, one thing Pendle did extremely well was their UI. It was super user friendly. And you have 2.0, but I'll touch on that one. I agree. Super easy and easy to use UI is definitely very helpful to like retaining users. I've seen the layout of how the team wants to have like the user journey in the UI. And we have a new lead dev, Nikla, who's very, very talented. He's in here right now. So I wouldn't be too worried about the user-friendly UI. Team definitely has that in mind. And then your second comment made all this complex rates and points stuff very palatable for the average user. So hopefully we can take a lesson there. I agree.
100% KP, 100%. The I think we have maybe underestimated the role of UI. Um, I think in the end, this is a product led industry, and similar to like Betamax, there's been great products that didn't necessarily get a lot of user adoption because they weren't necessarily the most kind of accessible to the average kind of user. And I agree, Pendle's done a great job of making users making like you said, make all this stuff more palatable to users. And I agree, we could definitely, I think, simplify things and we're definitely playing with UI kind of schemes to that are in keeping with that.
Al says, from a protocol perspective for point swaps, if that's a word, this also helps alleviate some forms of sale pressure before it hits as you pass discounted rates for points to those who may value it higher. I do get that. And then he says, a ton of protocols would be interested in this if it helps them shift value without affecting the token price that launches at a later time.
That's a great point. You're putting the points in the hands of the people that are more likely to be long term holders. Totally agree. The incentives align really well. You got the other side that are kind of locking a lot of TVL into these systems. Like Athena is a good example. And they're selling, kind of the rights to the points and their yield. That's a very popular trade with a lot of fund type entities. Um, and then you got your kind of your degens on the other side. It's a great alignment,
Sounds like something else we know, huh, Scooter?
right?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. Al, I see you typing, so I'll let you finish out that comment, and I think you may be the last one. From a dominant firm versus a competitive fringe perspective, it makes sense that we study best practices without looking weak or punching up above our belt. Just some ramblings on Pendle Revest relationships. Yeah, I don't think, and Scooter can correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think we really see Pendle as a quote unquote competitor. The whole space is collaborative, right? I think if we make new products and just have like better product offerings for users to choose from, right? Options to choose from, then that helps our entire industry, right? We're not saying don't use Pendle, right? We're just offering a different option.
Totally. I think we're just adding this kind of extra layer to things potentially. Um, Tentatively, I'm calling it re-yielding, sticking with the re prefix convention. So I think if we kind of pushed, using redeploying it and using that to basically boost returns over what people are currently seeing, I think that's an extremely powerful narrative. And at that point, we're not necessarily asking people anymore to take a haircut in order to get their yield now. So I think it kind of really just shifts the way people might look at Resonate as being, less of a kind of risk transfer platform and being more of a yield optimization platform. So there's a whole kind of vision here I'm kind of evoking, but I think if we were to push this in earnest, I think it could do really well, and it would drive. I agree with Al. It could drive, yeah, some a response maybe from Pendle, in improving their system to do some of the things that we can already do in ours.
Yeah, that'll be really cool to see. It's always cool to see the market respond to new products, right? If there's a better product, then typically competitors will just go ahead and like not necessarily front run the other competitors' announcement, but they'll just one up it. So it'll be cool to see how Pendle does respond.
So it'd be tough for them to respond. I'll say we're designed out of the box to do this kind of stuff. So and we can always build on Pendle as well, right? But we can do all this stuff natively. I mean, if you guys know how Resonate works, you know that it's a lot like Pendle. It's just an order book based system as opposed to an AMM. Um, and the other big difference is, our borrowers are getting their payment up front, right? Their fixed yield up front, and it's gonna be hard for Pendle to add that element to their system.
Al says, can we get some poker nights, maybe like once a month too, or something? Just thinking about some community events. I'd be down, Al.
Yeah,
We can do
I'm
like
into the marble races, but if you guys want to do poker, that's fine.
Marvel races. Yeah, Al, I think there's multiple online apps where we can just invite basically our community to a club. I think Triple P Poker has one. I think Poker Bros has one. Um, I'd be down in setting that up. We could just play with like fun money, and then
Yeah,
maybe winner gets a small prize or something. Um, but yeah, I'm done.
we should totally do some game nights. We don't have to limit it to poker, but poker's good.
Yeah, I was about to say we can definitely play some other games. We can play like Monopoly, or we could play Uno. I'm sure there's an online Uno version.
You
There's
ever
some.
seen that horse racing game?
Which one? On chain or just like a Web 2?
Yeah, it's on chain.
Is it
I see it in
NeoVred?
my feed. Oh, I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a few, but one that I remember is NeoBred. They're a Chainlink build project. But it's like horse racing on chain, but it's not real
Yeah, that'd be
horses.
kind of cool. We could bet on the ponies.
Avagachi has ghost dueling in the downloadable Spirit Force arena. Oh, that's cool. So
I'd
you
be
just
down with
you
that.
battle your NFTs, Al. Oh yeah, you can wager tokens. Okay, cool. Prime, I see you typing. If you've got a question, definitely feel free to ask it. For those of you, I see multiple people coming in a bit late. We're nearing the end of this call, but it is recorded, so it should be up today. In case you missed it, so you can grab all the updates. Prime says yes, would also like to join poker. Sweet Prime. Al says NFTs are not. I'm sure it's also not hard to rig up other tokens, but it's on base. Oh, okay, cool.
Didn't realize you guys made the are on base now. That's cool.
Sweet. Okay, well, I think that covers all the updates. I think we answered all the community questions. If we did not, and I missed one, which I don't think I did, definitely feel free to ping any of us in the general chat after this, and we can answer your question.
And we'll put something out about game night soon. Maybe that's
Yes.
something we'll start doing.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll get a list of things and just ask the community what they want to do. So what, Al, whether we do poker, Monopoly, whatever, Prime, same thing. Um, we'll just sort of get a poll out, see what people want.
We got to keep it tight, Al.
Oh,
We get more more business calls.
Al, you said you can think of more questions. Scooter, what are you doing on time? Or how are you doing on time?
Oh no, I'm good. I got 6 minutes. We're good.
Okay. Al, you got 6 minutes. Shoot.
What you got? Now tell me you're lying about having more questions.
I know, right? He's blue balling us live. Zero's typing as well. What's the other L2 Rob hinted at other than Frax? I'll let Scooter take that one.
Hmm.
I don't know if you're allowed to say it yet.
Which where did you see the message at? Was it here in
I think
general chat maybe?
it might have been on the last call that he mentioned it, L2.
Yeah, we do have something tentative with Linnea. Um, we actually have that commitment, but there's been a holdup with respect to a certain piece with a tokenizer. They need a, I'll just say they need a market maker, and they've yet to find one to plug into to our deal. So there's a bit of a holdup in Linnea. That'll go through as soon as that market maker is squared away. Let's see.
Oh, did you see his message that he linked?
Uh,
Says we have yet another L2 that we're in close communications with and working on a deal pertaining to RWAs.
if we're looking at that middle paragraph about the 5 million deployment, that's with respect to Linnea, which I just spoke about.
Yeah, I think he may
Um,
may be talking about
okay, I see it down here. Yeah, so this is yeah, so this is a separate deal. It's more early stages. Um, we do have a verbal commitment there. We're just waiting on the right sort of kind of pairing up with an off-chain, kind of capital partner to make all that work. So that's a bit further out. I don't know if
Al,
I can say who the L2 is, so I'll just say they're a very RWA focused L2.
Al also asks, other than T-bills, are you guys taking any serious looks at other assets for
Oh
the
yeah,
moment?
100%. Just
Yeah.
had a call today, Al, with an RWA outfit, um, doing some interesting stuff with trade finance. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, we can definitely do that. It's just a matter of finding the right arrangements. Preferably, we'd like to build on like kind of senior pieces that are like last loss, so that our lenders don't end up in a situation where they're just not going to get any money back after they've made a loan. So we don't want that situation. But if we can find the right vehicles that have some socialization of defaults or tranched out, then we can build on that. And so that's where the kind of holdup is, and kind of finding the right vehicles. Um, because not every vehicle out there is kind of set up properly for us to build on it. But yeah, had a call today that went really well with an outfit that's got something that we can build on that yields quite a bit more than T bills. And of course, on top of that, we can juice it further with our re-yielding stuff. So there's a lot of good synergy there that can move pretty quickly.
Yeah. Also, Al, you'll love the stealth thing we're working on. I think it fits your question perfectly. But I think that's all I can say on that for now. Al also asks, how has recent progress in the USA regulation shifted the perspectives internally of how tokenization is progressing? And are there any new advantages with recent regulation, like FIT 21, that could improve? Sorry, I'm getting a lot of notifications. That could improve Revest's footing in attracting more capital from institutions. It was a large question, so feel free to break it down, Scooter.
I mean, I'm not terribly familiar with Fit 21. Doesn't seem like it anything that I've heard in terms of the conversation around that really you know
Passes on to the.
creates a bad situation for us. So I mean, I don't think anything there that I've seen so far is going to pose any issues for us. But definitely something I need to look into further. Yeah, and it is more of a Rob question.
Yeah, I just pinged Rob for you, so we'll see if he responds to you in the chat.
I think the great thing about Revest, and I should more properly say Resonate, um, we really, when somebody comes to our system, they're just inheriting the kind of whatever is the case with the underlying vehicle. So we just build on other systems. So if we find that there's an issue with working with one partner, we could almost always find another, in this case, like tokenizer to work with.
Sweet. I think that covers everyone's. Oh, has one last question. Oh, we're gonna make yours the last question. Do you guys think Revest compliance actually gives it a moat? It seems you guys really go through deep compliance processes.
Yeah, I mean, I would even go a step further and say the actual like structure of Resonate, like what you're doing, like what the implications are for balance sheet reporting, are pretty big. So that loan that you're getting against your future yield on Resonate, and let's say that's against, like, I don't know, like a private credit deal or something like that, some sort of RWA. That that loan on the future yield, that is not scrutinized in the same way that the principal is. Um, and so there's a lot of implications for, um, especially American-based funds. There's some corollaries with other regions as well. Um, but essentially, it allows them to self custody that loan, and they have a lot of freedom with it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So there's a lot of interesting things you can do, on in terms of reporting. So that is a huge moat for us because it really it means with Resonate in particular, there are just types of entities like RIAs in America would be a perfect example where they basically cannot directly play in DeFi. Um, they can't self custody due to like kind of the how the compliance regulations work. So, but that loan they get on Resonate, they can self custody, and that opens up the door for them to actually like participate directly in DeFi. So that's a massive moat for us. And I don't think many people understand that kind of subtleties there, the kind of regulatory subtleties.
Al has one last final question if you have a second. I know we're a bit over, Scooter. If not, that's fine. We can end it here.
Oh no, I'm just reading it. Yeah, I think we've probably mentioned most of them. Uh, well, I guess there is one that is pertains to the Linnea deal. I guess I could mention them. Blueberry, if you guys know Blueberry slash Bloom, we're working with those guys, and they're kind of in the business of tokenizing T bills. Um, and yeah, I probably can't mention the name that we met with this morning, um, but we're probably going to be working with them as well.
Awesome. Well, Scooter, thank you for hopping on this call with me and going over the BD updates and answering some of these community questions. To the community, thank you for tuning in. I know you guys have been tuning into these for several months now, so we definitely appreciate it. I'll look into the game night for us. I'll come up with a few different options just in case people don't like to play poker. We can always change it up. And yeah, we'll go ahead and upload this on YouTube after this. So if you came in late, don't worry, it was all recorded. You'll be able to hear everything. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next June call, and stay tuned for the Redux beta launch.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Bye guys, thank you.
Bye bye.